The Toyota fanboy or Toyota fangirl, an often pejorative or non-pejorative term that pop culture applies to individuals who swear by Toyota or Lexus products. Is there any logic behind their zealousness? That's what we're going to discuss today. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to go over Toyota fanboy or fangirl phenomena. In other words, what is the craze in pop culture, world pop culture, over Toyota and Lexus vehicles? What's the bottom line? How did we get here? How did we end up like this? In order to understand how we got to this point, we have to understand, first of all, that there's generally going to be two camps of consumers. Camp A is going to be concerned primarily with cheap thrills, raw thrills, excitement right off the bat, and reliability is not really a priority for them. That's one camp. The other camp is going to be primarily concerned with reliability when it comes to a vehicle. In other words, they believe that their vehicles are machines, they're tractor-like, and they should just work when they want them to work. If you're in the former, you won't be interested in Toyota. You'll never be a Toyota fanboy or girl, and that's fine. We just have to separate the mentality of the two types of consumers right off the bat in order to go any further. There are people who just want the latest and greatest, fast engine. They don't care how long it lasts. Latest tech, they don't care how long it lasts, and they're perfectly fine with that, and that's awesome. Over here in the other camp, or should I say over here, we have the camp that cares about reliability, and that's where the Toyota fanboyism comes into play, because it stems from an excitement knowing that your Toyota vehicle, whether it's a car or truck, is going to be ultra reliable and last you a long time. In other words, reliability, durability, longevity. For these people, those three factors equate to excitement and thrills. For me personally, it's thrilling to know that my Toyota will last and I can just drive it and don't have to worry about it. And that's exciting because I don't enjoy having to fix something or worry about if it's going to break, this sort of thing. So if the idea of reliability excites you, then you already get why there's such a thing as a Toyota fanboy or girl. It's because reliability means excitement to them. Less stress having to worry if it's going to break down, less stress about having to find a mechanic that's going to fix it, and more time enjoying the vehicle itself and being in the vehicle itself. That's at the core of the excitement over Toyota and Lexus. It's durability, reliability, and longevity. But how did Toyota get to such a point? And that's what we want to explore today, is how. What's the logic behind this reliability factor that Toyota is known for worldwide? And it comes down to basically Toyota using superior parts. Now, you may not think of a car manufacturer as a supplier or a collection of parts, but that's exactly what Toyota and Lexus is, and that's what they've built their ideology on. In other words, Toyota is not really a car maker. but rather they are a collection of the world's best automotive parts, and they are assembled into your Toyota or Lexus end product. And what that means is, in your Toyota, you hardly have anything that's actually made by Toyota. That may seem confusing to people who are not on the mechanical side of things, and that's fine, but it's very simple to understand. Let's start with the most probably unusual or maybe controversial aspect of what makes a Toyota or a Lexus, and that's their engines. It's kind of an open secret that Toyota engines are designed and made by Yamaha. So there's no such thing as a Toyota engine, and we're going way back to 1969 here. So your mother's Toyota, your grandmother's Toyota, doesn't matter. The engines were all designed by Yamaha. Based on the market where you are in the world, Toyota either makes this kind of known or they keep it kind of an open secret, as in the case here in the United States. Toyota kind of plays ambiguous with it. They tell you, hey, our engine's designed by Yamaha, and then they'll kind of not talk about that for a while, and will kind of appear and not appear, appear and not appear. But the bottom line is simple. Every Toyota engine is a Yamaha engine. So your classic Camry, your Toyota Camry, the car that built the Toyota reliability reputation, that 5 SFE engine and its predecessors were all Yamaha engines. That's in their basic Camry, basic Corolla, that built the reputation of engine reliability. Now let's go all the way up to your high-end sports car Lexus, again, designed by Yamaha. Toyota engines are Yamaha engines. They are the best engines when it comes to those 3 factors: durability, longevity, reliability, the Toyota way. Now, other than the engines, of course, there's other parts. And a couple of these names may or may not make sense to you, but they're very popular names. The parts supplier for Toyota, other than their engines, is Denso. And Denso will make things such as water pumps, radiators, electronic components, these sort of things, all these various other components within your Toyota. Now, again, the name Denso is not going to mean anything to most Westerners or Americans, but in Japan, this is a very high-quality parts maker. It's not a good enough parts maker. It is literally the best type of parts that you can get for your vehicle. The next one is the engine transmissions. So Toyota is possibly the only car manufacturer known to ever use a bulletproof transmission, automatic transmission. Now, I'm not talking about the engines. You know those are bulletproof Yamaha engines now. But the transmissions, the automatic transmissions within your Toyotas are made by a company called Aisin, and they make the world's best automatic transmissions, the only automatic transmissions that are known to be bulletproof. We still see them out here in Southern California on the road, 80s era Toyotas with 500,000 miles on original Aisin automatic transmissions, and old Toyota Camrys, Toyota Corollas, etc. So the Toyota is the only modern vehicle that has literally a bulletproof million-mile transmission, automatic transmission. No other car manufacturer can make that claim. Therefore, again, going with that Toyota ideology, durability, reliability, longevity. Aisin does make automatic transmissions for other cars, but they are almost exclusively used in Toyota. You will see the random Aisin transmission in other cars manufacturers, and those transmissions will last forever too. But that's more of a one-off type of deal. It's rare. to see an Aisin automatic transmission in another vehicle manufacturer's vehicle. But you'll always see them in your Toyota, no matter what it is. And when I say Toyota Lexus, it doesn't matter if you have the top tier Lexus or your entry level Corolla, Yaris, whatever the cheap car is now that Toyota makes, you're still going to get that manufacturer making that transmission. That's something else that has built that perception of reliability within Toyota, because it doesn't matter where you're at on the tier of car you're getting, it's going to be made and assembled, the parts are going to be from these manufacturers that I'm mentioning. Your batteries in this vehicle will be manufactured by Panasonic, arguably the best battery manufacturer in the world. If anybody's into the trades and remembers 25 years ago, they used to try to make cordless, tools like a cordless drill or something, and they could never get the batteries to work. I mean, they'd do them, but you'd get about literally 10 minutes of runtime before they bit the dust. Anyway, Panasonic came out with the industry's first nickel metal hydride batteries that were first used in the cordless tool market. And anyway, these nickel metal hydride batteries designed by Panasonic basically changed the game. They took it from 10-minute runtime to 1 hour runtime. And every power tool you see today that, we don't think about it. We just plug in your cordless power tools with those battery packs. That all stems from Panasonic battery technology, whether it's nickel metal hydride or lithium ion. Panasonic makes the best. Right off the shelf, these things will have Panasonic batteries. Whether it's Lexus or Toyota, you're going to get the best battery right off the floor. The rubbers, another vulnerable part of vehicles, are in Toyota and Lexus products, are manufactured by a company called Mitsubishi. Not Mitsubishi, Mitsubishi with an O. And they are a superior rubber manufacturer, rubber parts manufacturer. So we're talking drive belts, bushings, and the older Toyota vehicles, their timing belts are made out of rubber, and they'll be made out of from this company called Mitsubishi, top tier manufacturer, and those belts will go beyond their intended 100,000 miles before you're supposed to replace them. They won't snap before then. And finally, you have things like bearings. In the case of Toyota Lexus, they're made by a company called Koyo. Again, a top-tier Japanese bearing manufacturer. So, without getting too technical and too nerdy as far as, these various brands and names that you may or may not be familiar with, the bottom line is, try to imagine a vehicle that's made out of the best parts, all of them, from the tires to the plastics inside the car to the little light that you turn on to read the map, whatever, every part. Imagine a car manufacturer that simply hand selects the absolute best manufacturers to supply those parts. So inside the mind of a Toyota fanatic is kind of interesting, because admittedly cars such as this Sienna minivan are very boring. But what the Toyota fanatic sees is the parts and the parts suppliers. In other words, they kind of see mechanically instead of aesthetically. We know right off the bat that you're going to get a Panasonic 12-volt battery right there. You're good to go. It's a Panasonic, very good brand. Then under the hood, the Toyota fanatic's going to see similar things. You're going to see Denso everywhere. So whatever this component is, you can see right on it, it says Denso. And you're going to have, again, your engine by Yamaha, even though it's not going to say Yamaha, it's a Yamaha. Your transaxle and transmission by Aisin, even though this is a hybrid, it's still going to be made by Aisin. And you're going to see more Denso stuff everywhere, such as down here on the part of the ECU. It says Denso right there. And your radiator, all your stuff, they don't skip out anything. Your rubber belts down there, your drive belts are Mitsubishi's deep down there. So this is kind of what goes on in the mind or the vision of the Toyota fanboy or fangirl. You just see real name brands everywhere. This hose, I'm sure, is a Mitsubishi. They don't cheap out on anything. Every component is quote-unquote name brand. Now, these name brands may not mean much to non-Toyota fanatics, but once you get to know these brands and their reputation, you realize that everything in this vehicle is essentially a conglomerate or a collection of absolutely the best parts as far as durability, reliability, longevity, these sort of things. And that is the spell that is cast upon people who like boring Toyotas and boring Lexuses. It's the concept of no worries, and that excitement overtakes the visual and impulsive excitement that you may see in other manufacturers that hit those nerves of fancy colors, fancy designs, latest tech, bigger engines, faster engines, whatever, the latest and greatest. But it's not going to last as long. You may not be in that camp, but if you are, check out Toyota and Lexus. You won't be disappointed. This is how you get such strange creature such as myself who rant on and on about Toyotas and Lexuses. But it's true. So if you're in that camp, please remember, check them out, like and subscribe if you found this video interesting or helpful, and have a great day.